All right, tell me, brother. What do you want to know?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty chill. Yeah, I feel pretty pumped. Like I could beat like 10 people at the same time fighting against me. Type of good, you know? I'm in that head frame right now. The earliest I remember playing Smash was probably when I was like 9 years old. Someone in my father's side of my family had a GameCube with Smash, and they were like, "Oh, you should play this." I'm like, "Okay," and then just getting my ass beat repeatedly by like an older kid, and then it's just like, "Nah, I have to get good at this. Like, what's going on?" There's no way I'm getting. And I remember always playing as Pikachu because I thought he was cool, but nah, Pikachu is not it for me in Melee. At first, I was really into sword characters. I love Link. I love Marth, Roy. Those are my three. And then as the years went by and then the Brawl came out, I was so like I loved Toon Link. Toon Link was my guy, like always. I wouldn't use any other character but him. Um, Ganon also. That's when I started using Ganon. And honestly, yeah, just those two. I would still play Marth too, but I don't know because Roy wasn't there. It didn't feel the same. I was a Roy super fan, even though I never played the original Fire Emblem games, but he looked cool to me. Well, the moveset changed. There's little things that change, not big things. But I'd say it makes you appreciate more how it used to be. When especially when you pick up a Toon Link now for Ultimate, it's not the same. Doesn't the moveset's not the same. He's not as fast. His hits don't hit anymore. So it's a little bit sad, I think, with certain characters. But then other characters like Ganon, oh my, if Ganon's crazy, I feel like that's the most OP character in Smash. Definitely, definitely. I feel more comfortable with the newer characters. I mean, sometimes it feels overpowered, but then you see the cons like slower movement, um, that little frame that you lose when it gets up, like those things, like not being able to block at a specific time because it is a slower character, like with certain like Banjo and Kazooie. Like I can't use Banjo and Kazooie. I loved using him in the beginning, but it definitely made me more comfortable jumping around to different characters. Someone like Terry, it's a King of Fighters character, and so when you put in inputs for like in commands, right? It does special moves, and honestly, that was a learning curve for me because I like Mortal Kombat. I love those Tekken, Street Fighter. I love those games, but I could never do the combos. Like I could never do the command inputs. It was really difficult for me because I just sometimes I just like smashing buttons, like and certain things don't hit. But when then I started taking Terry more seriously and then playing as Ken too, that's when I got more into like figuring out how the movements, where you touch, because imagine playing as Terry or Ken and then accidentally hitting a command code and then you jump off the stage. You die instantly. There's no coming, especially as Ken. Oh my god, once he does his up B, that's it. In the newest iteration, I was playing a Sora for like months, trying to figure out his character. Definitely light. I think most characters can kill him after 60% because he's that light. Um, but he's really fast, and I love Sora. I love Kingdom Hearts. That's my thing. When he was announced, like there's no way I'm not. I'm just gonna say I freaking teared up. I was like, no way they did it. And the craziest part was seeing the Mickey Mouse emblem because of course like they can't really have anything like the stage itself didn't have anything Disney related. But seeing that emblem is like wow, Disney they allowed like a percentage of what the game's actually about. That's great. And the character is perfect. All the move sets just they match. You can tell that the team really loved that character. In general, I think with the newest game, it had a lot of Square Enix characters, Cloud, Sephiroth, just a ton of them. I'm just disappointed they didn't put in Geno from from Super Mario RPG. But always next time. I feel like it it didn't do a good job in balancing the overall characters because you can tell the DLC characters are just so different. Like they're not balanced enough. They had a preference on giving them more power. Like playing as Kazuya, my God, what a monster! His command codes are crazy, but I don't Like I don't have fun with him because he's too slow for me specifically. But just him, the people that have played him that I've seen in tournaments and stuff like that, they're just monsters, absolute monsters. Especially since one move that's really easy to use is special. Just shoots a laser across the whole stage. You don't need to have any skill to hit someone with that. You know, I believe also in the tier hierarchy that a lot of people set up. Ken is definitely my one of my favorite main characters. It's a C. He's a C tier. C tier. Highest he would be is a B tier, but he's really easy to read. His move sets. So you would have to, for me at least, my strategy is nonstop going at you, like like a rabid dog. Like I don't even want to bark right now because I sound too good. Yes, I love pressing. I love that there's with those okay, like the fighting characters for me specifically. I feel no lag or no latency. Like when I push something, instantly punch. Like Ken is just punch punch, and if you keep pressing, obviously the a button A just keeps hitting. It does a combo on its own. You know, I love that, and it gives you time to think as you're doing those inputs. What's the next move? Where are they gonna go to? That's what I always think. It's kind of like chess. You want to know where, what their next move is, so you can counteract it and punish them.
And win the battle.
Yeah, win the battle definitely. But I feel like at some point when you're playing the game, you don't just want to win the battle, but you want to have style when you're winning the battle. That happens a lot in tournaments, like wanting to down smash someone or wanting to combo them to death, like from zero to death. That's like I think every person I play with that's really good. That's what they strive for, just taking a full stock without taking any damage and just from zero to that's it. It's death. Oh my god. I noticed
When did you first?
I noticed when okay, one day I was it was during the pandemic too. I think it was maybe towards the end of 2020. I had a roommate where we both played the game like nonstop. But I would play it more, and I was looking back, and I told him, "Oh, let me look at your profile." I looked at his profile. He only had like 150 hours on his Switch, because my Switch was the one in the living room where we would both play. And then I looked at mine, and mine said 1,200, and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Dude, it's been a long quarantine," and yeah, it was a long quarantine. But yeah, we played that nonstop. I'll say um, a daily routine would be make breakfast, get on, and he would play as Roy, and I would play as Marth at that time, and I would play as Ken too constantly. I didn't start playing Terry until I think the beginning of 2021, and then I didn't play Sora until he popped up, and then as soon as he popped up, I just played him nonstop.
You're at 2,000 hours now.
Yeah, actually, I'm 2,360 hours.
You-
Like
As
I
of this
literally checked
recording.
as of this recording. I checked, and we might have to take a look at it again in a bit, which we will. Um, but definitely, yeah, and it's accurate. I think it's accurate. Maybe there was like a day or two where maybe I left the switch on,
Okay.
but no, it's very close to that amount of hours. I love the game. I love going. I don't play against bots anymore because bots are like at some point they're easy to read because then you could tell. Sure, they're fast. Their reactions are fast. I can't even lie about, and their combos are crazy. But the moment that you start picking up patterns and they keep the patterns, they're not like an actual player that they notice that you're catching them at the next chess move and they'll switch up. They just stay at the same routine. So it gets boring. So then what I started doing is just every single time I get on Smash, if I'm not playing with friends, it's just online solos. 3 lives, flat stage or tournament style stage, either one. I'll say there's definitely less people, but if you go into the rooms, which is where you set up a server and you have a limited amount of people that can constantly play, the dojo room I think it's called, um, then it's fun, but you're always gonna depend on the host's Wi-Fi. It's not like everyone working together, all their Wi-Fi is connected. No, it's the host Wi-Fi. So if they have really trash internet, you'll notice that the dojo closes off. That's the only thing. Well, I have multiple complaints about Nintendo, but that's my biggest thing against Nintendo is that their lack of like trying to keep up with Sony or Microsoft. Like it's understandable. It's a children's thing, right? Children's thing. But so many people have it, and you can't let a game die like that. This game is so wonderful. Like so many people have started playing the online melee, and I don't even remember the name of the mod. They started letting people play online melee online, and then Nintendo just for the tournament.
Wait, oh, you're talking about Slippy.
Yeah, it's it's kind of sad because I can imagine a world where you go into a dojo, you turn on voice chat from your Switch, whatever, or I mean, you can use the app. I mean, it's really weird to me to be honest, but you go on your Switch, you can talk. You're talking trash. It's like a Call of Duty 2012 lobby, bro, in there, and that's what hypes me up. I love when people are toxic, even it. I mean, I don't like it when they mean it, but I like when they have that fighting spirit in them, where they want to win, being competitive. For me, since I put in so many hours, and there's a lot of friends that they're like, oh yeah, I play, but I don't play like that. Then it's more fun to see them like learn stuff as they're playing. Like I like when people pick up my fighting style or how I play, because then it's like, oh, okay, I'm teaching, and it's also like then they're gonna end up being competitive with me because they're picking up little things that I do, like always trying to be in the air or knowing my placement in the map, return how to know like how to return back onto the map after jumping off, learning your up special with any character, timing, and I love when people perfect block me. It's just like it's magical. Like in the moment, I'm just like, what the hell? But then it's like, okay, damn, that was sexy. Nothing better than that, really. And that's why, like, I like I said, I like competitive people. But when you mean it, it's just like, bro, it's a game, you know. So I'll say right off the bat, I never played Smash 4 like that because I only had the DS version, 3DS version. Um,
That's a controller that counts.
yeah, that's true, and that was
I mean,
crazy.
we don't console shame here. Like,
No.
that's not. It's
Well,
not.
I'll say this: that game caused me to break my 3DS. Like I was just like moving along, moving with the analog, and then it just, and I was like, oh, well, and then I didn't even take it to get fixed. I just super glued it back onto the thing, and then well, let's keep going, and it worked for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up giving my 3DS to my little sister, and she got it fixed for like $20. Someone did her a favor.
So has it been the GameCube controller throughout the series?
Yes, always, always. From when I had that when I got myself or my family got me a GameCube up until, and even when I would go over people's house that had the Wii U, they would have the adapter for the controller for the GameCube controller, and I can't play any other style. I just the buttons match perfectly on what you need to click, and now that that Ultimate has where you can arrange your buttons, it's just perfect. It's just you'll never lose it. The only thing I miss that my specific one doesn't have is the rumble mode, like it doesn't vibrate. But but the sound, I love listening to the sound, like, because then you can also predict what's gonna happen next with sound too. Yeah, like, and also learning all these different styles, how people when they play defensive, what breaks their defense, like all that stuff. You can see people kind of learning in the same manner, and you can tell what, like, if they're intermediate, if they're like expert, or if they're above and beyond. Which I haven't met that many above and beyond, honestly. People that have been like, oh dude, you should play with this guy, he's crazy, this and that. I'm always like, okay, yeah, let's play. And because I put in so much time, and I always ask people like, oh, how much time have you put in, like, because they have a Switch, and then they're usually like, oh, like 800 hours, 900 hours, isn't that crazy? And I'm just like, yeah, that's wild, bro. That's a lot of time. And if they don't ask me from, I don't mention it, bro. I kind of like letting them see where I'm at once we start the game. Yeah.
Just open up and be like, give me all you got.
Yeah, please just do your best. Pick your best character. I'm gonna pick Ken. Usually, when I pick Ken, people are like, "Oh, I never play against him," because he's not a popular character. He's just really fun to me.
And then when they bring out like the braided, corded, custom cloth like GameCube controller, like you
But
just
then you're just like, "Damn, well, okay." And when yeah, honestly, when I show people my controller, they're like, "Bro, where'd you get that from?" And this specific, I've always had controllers that look like the one I have, and if I can bring it out for a camera. If
Yeah.
you don't, if you still have the rubber on your GameCube controller and you play Smash daily,
Yeah.
you're not playing enough. It has to be missing the rubber, or it has to be like a little bit of the rubber left to, like, yeah, you're making it work, but it hurts now.
You know, the first time that I saw that controller, I said, "Wow, you should get a new one."
No, definitely. I mean, I'll say I definitely should get a new one, but I feel like all the energy I put into the game, it's in this controller. It's kind of like a good luck thing, like a nostalgia thing. I would do new sticks, but I wouldn't do because right now their buttons are having no issues. If they had issues, I would, but I would never switch body. I like the original, like I like the black GameCube controller and the purple one. They're two of my favorites, the original ones. And this one, actually, I never even explained how I got this one. So this one isn't even mine from Florida. Mine from Florida got stolen. Like, I used to go to a friend's house all the time to play Smash, but I left my controller there. And then I told them, like, maybe 3 months later when I stopped talking to them at that point, I was like, hey, can I get my GameCube controller back? And they were like, oh, you never left it. And I was just like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll just buy another one, whatever. Um, but yeah, GameCube controller. This one I got from a very close friend of mine that I met here in California, and he doesn't play video games like that, but he told me in his basement he had a GameCube with Super Smash Brothers and two of the GameCube controllers, and one of them didn't work anymore, so I had to sadly like recycle it. But this one that I have here, it worked, and Melee. Oh my, playing Melee now feels so weird. Feels so weird. It feels so weird because you don't have perfect block. It's very easy to just get murdered absolutely by the CPU. But playing the little missions and just the target mode, like destroy all the targets, and classic mode is just it hits different. Like there's no better gameplay than that, honestly, to me.
That's really hard.
It's like when I played Melee, I can even smell like where I originally played it, like the room. I was like, what the heck? Like every sense just hits. You're like, oh wow, yeah, I'm back home. I'm home. Hmm. I'm looking forward to hopefully the creator, which is the same creator as Kirby, and I'm trying really hard to remember his name, but they work really hard on this game. I think they don't even sleep at some point because they're pushing to like keep everybody happy. I hope he retires, and the person that they leave these projects to, loves the games, like is in love with it, like to the point where they want it to be perfect. Because I feel like balancing the characters is gonna work. Um, the next iteration shouldn't have all the characters like it did this version. Like I understand this version because it's a new port to the Switch, right? But I feel like the next game, I'm very hopeful that it's competitive. To be great. I know it might not happen because it's Nintendo, but if the next game had a competitive element to it and Nintendo just started pushing tournaments around, I feel like it could be like top like fighting game, honestly. Just because it's iconic, like Donkey Kong, Mario, like all the Nintendo characters, where at this point they're even becoming movie characters. Like, that's just the next step in my opinion. For me, they would have to be OG Nintendo characters. So definitely Link and
Which version of Link?
oh, Adult Link. I love Toon Link and I love Young Link too, but what they do with the Link that is now in Ultimate, like how they base it off whatever generation it's at, it's perfect.
Wait, is that the Ocarina of Time Link? The
No,
adult Link?
that's the Breath of the Wild Link.
They have Breath of the Wild Link in Ultimate?
Yeah, they do. That's why his bomb, you can control it. He
Oh,
has the blue
just like the
spear.
game.
Exactly. So I love that. I love when they do that because it just means that hey, we're in this generation. And I feel like when the next game they're gonna start looping things around. Like I don't know if you saw the announcement for Super Mario RPG, the remake. That's beautiful. There's a new Mario game that looks fantastic. By the way, 2D platformer, with new power ups and just new vibe. Like, and they didn't call it New Super Mario Brothers. They just called it. Um, I don't even remember what they call it, but I remember with the Switch and the Wii, the 2D platformers they would call New Super Mario Brothers, but it's something different. And it reminds me more of like Super Mario 3 and those vibes.
Make this decision right
No,
now.
yeah, no, dude, that's a decision I'm gonna have to make because I was telling myself I'm gonna save this for when something really good gets announced. I was gonna get originally Pikmin, but now I'm just like, no, I'm definitely gonna hold out for one of those two games. I really want to play RPG because I remember when I was a kid, I had the emulation on Wii where you could go into the Wii shop and just buy out with Wii points.
Yeah.
And I beat Super Mario RPG, even the hidden boss. But that was so long ago. And I remember so many good memories. And like in my head, like the graphics were so perfect. Like even the little story that was going on in the background. And now I see it now, I'm like, wow, this is like, the animation on this is ridiculous. And they still kept Mario like a shorty. Like he's a short dude. He's a short, chubby guy. I want it.
Yep.
Gimme.
Yep. Put them on the cartridge. Put it. Oh wait, cartridge or digital?
Hmm, that's so difficult.
Do you want the shorty on the shorty cartridge?
Yes, I want a cartridge because I feel like that's the special game. For me, funny like Tears of the Kingdom, like it's great. To me though, like it'll never be Breath of the Wild because the original that sets the standard is just that's like the classic. Tears of the Kingdom is a very good though, very good. But Breath of the Wild is just the classic. It was an instant classic. I remember everyone just being so excited about it, and then when they announced that DLC, everybody went crazy. Everybody went crazy.